Hey everybody, welcome back to another Team Bankroll video. This is the Football League show. We're back after a week or two hiatus. We didn't have a lot of league games going on. We had some FA Cup stuff as well. So we're back, getting ready to go. Another week in the lower leagues, Championship, League One, League Two. Let's bring in our co-host, former Southampton striker, former Bournemouth striker, played at Charlton Athletic, Hartlepool, all sorts of different teams. He's Flash Watson. Flash, how you doing today?
I'm good, big man. I'm good. Big week ahead of us here. A lot of the good sides are playing against each other. A lot of the lower sides are playing against each other. And the big thing I want to say to everyone is caution this week on goals. It's getting really cold. The weather's starting to turn. And normally when that does turn, it takes teams and players a little bit longer to get into the swing of things.
That's great info, Flash. And as always, we appreciate all the comments on the show. A lot of people reach out to me off the record and appreciate the show. They like the fact that we do this show. There's a lot of value. We've done well with it. And I also want to commend Flash. We have an interesting guy here in Flash because no one at SBR has played a professional sport. Flash has. He knows about these teams. He knows about how it is being a player. So I think he offers an interesting kind of look into things. So get your pen out, pay attention. Also, to all of our U.S. viewers, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you all have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow here in America. Let's jump into Flash to the championship. We'll start out with Friday evening. Ipswich Town hosting West Bromwich Albion. Ipswich 4, draw 3.4, West Brom 1.9. Listen, Flash, we don't generally go over every game in the championship, but I found it hard to avoid this one. Ipswich Town have not been good. We all know what they're all about. While I don't love West Brom, while I don't love the fact that their defense sucks, this is a game, if you're West Brom, you have to have. This is a low-end side, the worst side in the league. You're fifth right now on the table. You got to go out and get 3 points here. I think it's a massive 3 points for West Brom. I'm going to go West Brom 1.9. Any thoughts?
Yeah, West Brom 1.9. I've only got 2 plays in the championship this weekend, and it starts on Friday night. Whatever we say about West Brom's defence, and we have been proved right, they've hardly kept a clean sheet all year. They score goals. And they've got good pace, and they've got good forward-thinking players. I don't think you go anywhere other than West Brom 1.9.
Ipswich 3 goals in the last 5 games. They've really struggled to put goals back. Keep in mind, 2 of the goals came against Reading, who are one of the worst defenses in the league. Then you scored against Preston, who also, those are who the goals came against over the last 5. So both Preston and Reading, Flash, as you know, not good defensively. So I think this is a big test. Ipswich have not been able to pass any of these. I really like this one. This is definitely, I think, one of us, both of us agree on. Another one, Flash, I wanted to ask you about, and I don't really have an opinion on this game, but I wanted to get your thoughts. How about Norwich? Norwich now lead this table in the championship and are poised to get back up to the Premier League. It's been a while. Norwich, 6 games in a row on the bounce. They've been doing it with, frankly, not a great defense. They've given up 20 goals in 17 games, but they're putting goals back. They're finding ways. They played well lately. How about this last, 3-4 weeks of play from Norwich? It's been impressive.
Yeah, I had this game down as being a draw, to be honest, because I felt that both teams might cancel each other out. Yeah. I mean, you're going to go down this whole card, and in fact, all 3 cards in the Championship, League One and League Two, and there's going to be a lot of draws, and there's going to be a lot of tight games that are going to be swayed by a mistake or a dodgy decision. So just really box clever. The one game I really like is Derby to win at Sheffield Wednesday. Derby 2.1, Sheffield Wednesday at the back. Honestly, they're like drew 0-0 with Sheffield United, and no one can understand how that happened. Sheffield United obviously missed a penalty as well. I see Derby hitting Wednesday on the break, and I think at 2.1 for the away, and you just double it up with West Brom.
Yeah, I like that one. That's one I considered as well. I think you kind of lamented that. Keep in mind, Flash, how many years you played at Sheffield Wednesday?
4.5 years.
There you go. One of the longest tenured of his career. So, yeah, I like Derby County. Frank Lampard has figured it out. They've done a nice job. One other one, Flash, I had my eye on. Reading, Wigan over 2.5. The only thing I have with Wigan is they're a weird team. Sometimes they score a ton of goals. Sometimes they look like they're kind of inept and they just sit back and it's 1-1. One thing I've learned about Reading, though, Reading give up a lot of goals. I'm just hoping Wigan can go on the score sheet. Not in love with that one. The only one I really love is West Bromwich Albion against Ipswich. I do agree with Flash on Derby. Maybe also Blackburn Flash seemed like king of the draws. That might be a 2-2 draw there with Preston North End, but definitely a tough card in the championship. So we'll agree on West Brom and Derby County. Flash, let me ask you a question as we kind of break up the monotony here quickly. I was watching the other day. It might have been an older video, but they assembled 4 players and like an analyst, and basically it was like Ian Wright and a couple other guys, and they came up with their ultimate Premier League starting 11. I wanted to ask you, who's the best player you ever played against?
In the Premier League, obviously we're looking at defenders. I'd probably say on an individual basis, I'd probably say Sol Campbell was probably the toughest one for me because he was mobile, he was strong, he was so athletic. But we played against pairs in them days, and they defended in pairs. So obviously, Adams and Gio Bold at Arsenal, and obviously and the Pallister and Bruce combination at Manchester United were tough as well. But I'll probably say that the best individual I played against was in the Premier League anyway, was Sol Campbell.
Now, do you consider Sol Campbell? Do you like what he? Some people call him, Tottenham hate him, Arsenal love him. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, again, I've got no affiliation to either club, so you just have to judge him on being a professional footballer. And he was outstanding, and he was one of the invincibles. So, I mean, that speaks for itself.
Now, one other quick question, Flash. Not playing against, but over your career, who do you think the best player you ever saw was?
I'd probably say, obviously, Paul Gascoigne would have been up there, because that's an easy one. He was coming to the end of his career, but I was a massive fan of Brian Robson at Manchester United. But I mean, Shearer was an out-and-out goal scorer. Sure. And I played against Klinsmann as well. So, I mean, I'd say that Shearer and Klinsmann were probably the 2 best strikers I played against.
Now, many would say that Paul Scholes doesn't get enough respect. What are your thoughts on him?
No, I would have Paul Scholes ahead of Gerrard and Lampard. But without them three, you don't mind coming third. It really is that high. I mean, it's almost like having Brady, Marino, and another, so like Peyton Manning, even put him in there. So you don't mind coming in third out of them 3, do you?
Sure. And again, we forget about, I know I don't think you played with like Ronaldo or Thierry Henry, but so many great players in history. Let's go down to League One, Flash. I actually have a couple in League One I have my eye on. Obviously, I mean, no surprise, Sunderland at even. I mean, Sunderland are terrific. They're definitely going up to me this year. They've been fantastic, really away and at home. Walsall are a solid group, but I think Sunderland beat them up at 2. Any thoughts on that?
No, that's the only way you could go. I mean, it's not one that I've put together. I mean, I thought Barnsley at 1.9 at home to Doncaster should be a shoo-in, mainly because Barnsley score goals week in, week out, and Doncaster are a little bit hit and miss. And I also like Luton and Carlisle. We'll go on to that in a minute. But my main one in that is Barnsley at 1.9.
One I'll also throw out Scunthorpe and Portsmouth over 2.5. We all know Scunthorpe's goals giving up. They give up a ton of goals. Portsmouth are flying right now as far as goals are concerned. I wouldn't be surprised if that's 3-0, frankly, but I'd expect Scunthorpe to maybe get on the score sheet there. Remember, Portsmouth guys are the best team in League One. They've only given up 14 goals, but I get a feeling there's maybe a crooked scoreline there on that one. Scunthorpe has given up 38 goals in 18 games, and that is just wretched. this season. So
I think you could go with both teams to score, though, because Portsmouth have got such a young group. And the one thing you can say about Scunthorpe is they do normally score. So I think over the 2.5, but you could almost be a little bit bolder and say both teams to score and over 2.5.
Yes, Scunthorpe are a great over team, man. They always put goals on the board, man. That's and then they give plenty up. Flash, you played with Jurgen Klinsmann? Seriously?
No, against him. Sorry, I thought you asked me who I played against. Yeah,
no, that's what I mean. Yeah, with who? Tottenham?
Yeah, he was at Tottenham. I was at Sheffield Wednesday.
Wow, that's got to be that's amazing. I heard he was unreal. Yeah,
his movement was frightening. He could lose you in the space of half a yard.
Wow, that's amazing. Let's move on to League Two here. I got to be honest, Flash. I had a lot of trouble with League Two. You got a lot of good teams playing each other. You're obviously off a little break here. So how will the teams come out? You look at the old kind of betting against. Teams like Macclesfield. They're playing a Yeovil team that I don't want to get behind right now. No. You got. I'll tell you what. I kind of like Tranmere against Oldham. Tranmere have been good at home.
Yeah, I watched Tranmere closely last night. They won 2-0 in the FA Cup away to a non-league outfit. But they've been a bit dodgy at home, funnily enough. They've been better away from home. And I watched Oldham last week, and they really struggled against the lowest team in the FA Cup in Hampton and Richmond. So you'd only want to be with Tranmere, but I think you're forcing it if you look at that game, I really like.
I think real quick, if I could point out, I think the one thing about Tranmere that I like is I want them when they're playing, a team like I don't know, one of the southern teams or something like that, where they could expose them for the travel. Oldham is in Manchester, so it's not going to Merseyside. It's not really far or anything. That's actually a good point by you, Flash, and I think it might end up saving some people money if they maybe see Tranmere. But what do you like, Flash?
I like Carlisle 2.51 at home, and the main reason is because they're two bad teams, and you're getting 6-4 about a team at home who score goals, and I really like Luton. I think Luton is going to be the team to follow over the next 2 and 3 and 4 months. They've got a full squad, and when they've got a full squad, they start scoring 3, 4s, and 5s. So, I don't really want to go away from Luton. Luton at 1.8. Nuke and Carlisle was just a bit of a single at 2.5. But I'm happy to put Luton, Barnsley, West Brom, and Derby in 4 trebles and an ACCA.
Like that. Yeah, you look at a couple of the other games. Colchester, Exeter, that's tough. Lincoln against Mansfield, tough. What about Cambridge?
Home team there.
What about Cambridge, Flash? You've been backing them.
Yeah, tough spot though. This one. Obviously they're up against. It's like they're in the bottom 4 or 5, but their current form is good and their towels are up, but. It's just a game that looks like a draw. It looks like if Cambridge get a draw at the game, they're going to be happy.
That's what I was going to say, because if you know anything about Bury, they played well also right now. Bury are flying, actually. You look at their last few games. Beat Macclesfield 4-1, beat Dover in the FA Cup 5-0, beat Fleetwood, beat Stevenage. They're playing some good football right now. 2 teams that are kind of flying high. Could be a nice draw price there at 3.5. But yeah, I don't have anything in League Two.
I know, and the thing is, Cambridge, I think, are 4, aren't they? Cambridge at home, 4.
Cambridge are 4, yeah.
Yeah, see, if you looked at it blindly, you would say maybe Cambridge double chance. But Bury are scoring goals for fun.
Yes. No, that's a good point. I think the only game that I was close on in League Two was MK Dons. Just kind of taking them out of principle at this point, being the best team in the league. But Stevenage are they're no team to just kind of forget about. They're a decent side that's in the top half of the table, maybe looking like they can make a run against a big boy at home. It's a tough week in League Two. The only games
it is a very, very tough weekend. And the thing is with Stevenage, a lot of people have them down as being one of the fittest teams in the league.
Yeah, and that's a point of contention to be made right now, Flash. You remember, you're coming off an international, you're coming off a week or two, teams are doing FA Cups and all these different things. So, it's kind of a tough week, and the fixtures are difficult. So I wouldn't go crazy this week. I think just taking West Brom safe, Sunderland safe, Scunthorpe over safe in League One. League Two, I'm not going with anything. What are you going to go with, Flash, in League Two?
In League Two, I'm going with Luton, in with Barnsley, West Brom and Derby. And I think that Carlisle are a decent bet at 2.5.
Carlisle against Forest Green. Very good. Yeah, for me, my favorite play this week is West Bromwich Albion against Ipswich Town. I also like Sunderland to beat Walsall in League One and Scunthorpe Portsmouth over 2.5 in League One. Flash, now let me ask you, how was your roasted chicken? I know you had a nice meal.
Yeah, I've just woofed it. I had a roast chicken and some tomatoes, mushrooms, and spaghetti.
Oh, how about that? Now, Flash, are you familiar with Thanksgiving? Do you know what that is?
I am, yeah. Obviously, my son's in college in South Carolina, so he always goes to Columbia with his girlfriend to her family, and they'll have a great day tomorrow. And obviously, I love it because we get extra games of NFL.
Sure. Now, do you know what we eat? Are you familiar with like turkey and
mash and mashed potato and all that?
Now, Flash, let me ask you last question before we go. Flash, I could sit and talk to you for hours, and I know you don't want to, but I want to ask you one more thing. I've heard of bangers and mash. What is that?
Yeah.
What is
sausages?
That? Okay.
Sausages and mash with onions and gravy.
Interesting. Now, sausage over here, we would eat it on a long roll, a long hoagie roll, which you're probably not familiar with. But we eat it with, in the Italian cultures and even in Albania and stuff, we would eat it with the long roll, peppers and onions in it. It's like a sandwich. We would never eat it with mashed potatoes, which is
okay. So we basically have sausages, and for you, the closest thing you'd see probably to a sausage would be like a Frankfurter. But they're not spicy, right. And it's proper. It's just like proper meat in like a skin.
I see. Yeah, that's like a hot dog, right? Okay.
Yeah, but it's not as flimsy and as
poorly quality. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
All right, Flash. As always, riveting content from you. We'll appreciate it, and we thank you. We'll be back next week, hopefully with better cards. Not a lot of games to choose from here, but. We'll get back at it, hopefully make a couple units and get back at it next week. Flash, have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great time.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week here on the Football League Show. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.